Hey guys, so I'm working on this Sprinter again today. I want to show you a couple things I found out about it, and I'm kind of the mindset that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we do, if you guys have not watched my short and my video on these Bosch injectors, please watch that for me, and please give me your input, because I'm curious what you guys think, whether these are real or fake or what. I don't know how to tell. I ordered them from eBay. The guy said I've got messages from him saying that they order them directly from Bosch. They come directly from the factory. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm just, if you get a chance, just watch these videos and comment on them. I'm trying to figure out whether they're real or not before I put them in, and I'm not sure when I'm even going to put them in. So let's talk about that. All right, before we do, today I decided that I'm going to go ahead and do an oil change on this thing because it needs it, and I'm going to use this Rotella. Now, they call for a 5W40 oil in this motor, but it's 300,000 miles. I don't know if it's original miles or if the motor's had work done to it. The guy that I bought it from said when he bought it, it had about 150,000 miles on it. It was owned by Krispy Kreme Donuts, so I'm assuming they did regular maintenance on it. They probably took very good care of it because they depended on it as their work vehicle. And he told me he changed the oil every, I think he said like 7,000 or 8,000 miles, he changed the oil on it. It recommends 5W40, but I'm going to put 15W40 in it because I want something that's a little heavier oil. If you guys have watched any of my videos in the past, I run 2050 oil in everything I own. I don't care if the manufacturer calls for 5W20 or whatever that garbage water crap is that people put in their cars, and they wonder why their motor blows up at 50, 60,000 miles because you're running water through it. You're not running oil through it. But that's another day, another story. I run 2050 in all my cars, and I run 15W40 in all my diesels because I think heavier oil is going to give you more protection. That's just how I feel, and I think it makes a difference. I'm going to change the oil, put that in there. I'm also going to run some of this Lucas synthetic additive that also protects your engine. I figure it's good for high mileage engine. This stuff's a little more expensive than the standard Lucas, but to me it's worth it, so I'm going to put that in there as well. And here's my oil filter. It's a no-name brand, but I mean, I think it'll be okay for now. I don't think it's a problem. It should work fine. I do have a fuel filter for it that I bought, a Hinks fuel filter, but I found out from the previous owner that he replaced this one right at 300,000 miles. It's got like 306 on it now, so it's only got 6,000 miles on a filter change, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to change that. So we're not going to do that today. A couple things I got for the van. I got, you guys probably saw over on the side here, I've got a broken turn signal indicator, so I'm going to replace that. I got new ones here today. I might try to find some yellow 194 bulbs to put in there instead of the white ones. I don't know if I can find them or not. If I can't, I'll just leave it white. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put both of them on. So I got a pair of them for like 10 bucks. So I'm going to put those on there today. And I'm not going to put this on here today, but there's a modification you can do to this thing that is like a turbo resonator or whatever you want to call it, that you can replace. It's plastic and they tend to break. You can replace them with this aluminum one. This is really nice looking. I only paid like, I think $10 or $15 for this, including shipping. So I figured, what the heck, I'm going to buy it. I don't know if I'm going to put it on or not. I have to see how complicated it is to put it on. But anyhow, so let's talk about this engine. And if you guys watched my very first video on this, you'll saw when I bought this van, it had an injector that was blowing compression past the injector because the bolt was stripped out. And I did a parking lot fix on it. I drove it about 100 miles home. I've driven this thing several times since. It runs great. It's still holding. I have to make about a 2,000 mile trip here in about a month, and I'm kind of waffling whether or not I should just take this thing apart and fix it right, or I should just leave it alone. But the thing is I'm driving it and it's still running good, so I don't see a problem with leaving it this way. I did clean off the engine, power washed it, and we can take a look at that real quick. You can see how nice it looks now. I sprayed it down with oven cleaner, and then I also sprayed carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner on top of that. and I power washed it. You can see how nice it looks. It's very clean. Now, and driving it, I also had, let me back this back out. Underneath down there, the cross member was all coated with oil, and the guy that sold it to me said it had a power steering leak. Well, when I power washed the engine, I also sprayed, and I used engine degreaser on it too. I sprayed engine degreaser on the engine. I sprayed it underneath all over the frame and everything, and I power washed all that off, and I've driven it since then, and I'm not seeing any leaks, so I'm not sure where the power steering leak's coming from, if it even has one, but I guarantee you when I drive 2,000 miles, I'll find out. But anyhow, first thing I want to do, I want to show you guys something I figured out. If you power wash these engines and you clean them up, there's a way you can avoid black death on your Sprinter if you clean these engines off on a regular basis. So let me show you that first. Let me start it up and let you hear it run, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's start it up. And by the way, it's starting up cold right now. I was told, or I read online, that if your timing chain is bad, you'll hear a clattering noise when you start it up cold. I don't hear that at all. It's running very smoothly, as you can see. There's no hesitation or bad idle or anything like that. It's running very well. And that injector number 4 back there is not leaking. It's still holding. So I'm not sure what to do with it because it's still holding, but let me show you this real quick. So one thing I did find out on this is when you start it up, after you've washed it, if you got water on top of the engine, let me put some water down there. We're going to put some water down in there where the injectors are. And I want you to see something here. This is a way you can check to see if you got black death that's starting, okay? If it's starting and not too bad, okay? If you look at this first injector, you'll see the water's just sitting there floating, right? Now look at this injector. See that? Well, that injector right there, number 2 injector, is starting to leak. It's starting to produce black death, okay? Now if I look over here, that was okay. I look at that one. Now look, that one there's leaking a little bit more. That's the one I put the bolt in, so I need to try to tighten that up and see if I can get it to not do that. That one there's fine. So number 2 and number 4 is bubbling. So let's see if we can stop that by tightening up the bolts. All right. So I put my phone back up here. All right, I got you guys zoomed in here. Let's try to tighten up number 2 and see if we can get it to stop. I tightened it up a little bit. It's very tight. I don't want to break that bolt off because this is a yield, stress to yield. So it did not stop leaking. Let's try number 4. I don't even know if you guys can see it. It's way back there. Number 4 is, number 2 still leaking pretty good. Number 4's a little bit, not bad, but a little bit. And I'm not even sure if that's coming from the underneath side of the injector or it's coming from something else, but I'm guessing from underneath. Okay, let me back this back out. All right, let me shut this off. Shut off the car. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute. All right, so that's a water trick you can do. That's a good reason why it's a good idea to keep, I mean, to me, that stupid cover that goes over the top of the engine, all it does is hold in heat anyhow and just exacerbates everything. If you have one of these, I would probably recommend you take that plastic cover off and leave it off, because it's going to allow the heat to escape and maybe cause less problems in the future. But also, if you got that off, that cover off, and you clean your engine on a regular basis, once it's cold, it'll have water down in there. You can start it up and you can look and you can see if there's any preliminary signs of the Black Death starting, which is that bubbling that you just saw. Okay, that bubbling is obviously the exhaust is coming up past the injector. It's bubbling. You know, that compression in there is pushing it past the injector, and then it's bubbling. That's why the water's there. So it's obviously a problem. It's going to have to be addressed. So now my dilemma is: do I go ahead and try to fix it now, or do I leave it alone? My biggest concern is number 4 cylinder, because I put that bolt in there and it's really tight. I don't know if I could tighten it up anymore. I could try, but my biggest concern is if I remove that bolt and pull that injector back out again to try to do something different, am I going to strip the threads out that whatever threads I made when I put the bolt in? I didn't put a tap in there and tap it and make threads. I just screwed the bolt into the hole, and it forced its way into the aluminum and basically made its own threads. So I don't know if pulling it out is going to cause it to not be able to hold the next time I put it in. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. So am I better off? I mean, and it's not leaking very bad. It's only leaking a little bit. I got to drive 2,000 miles. So should I leave it alone, or should I fix it? But the other thing is, where I'm driving, I'm going to be on the interstate, and some of the area where I'm going to go through, it's going to be kind of remote. There's going to not be a lot there. It's a lot of empty highway and empty interstate. So if one of these things lets go and starts, you know, blowing compression out, then I'm basically stuck to fix it myself where I'm at. I don't have a choice. I got to pull over the side of the road or the nearest small town, whatever, and try to fix it. So I don't know how well that's going to work for me. But, you know, should I drive there and back, or should I fix it now? I don't know. But obviously it's going to have something done with it. Number 2, I'm definitely going to pull number 2 out, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out, look at the gaskets underneath it, but I got new gaskets. I don't know if there's a way I can seal it up a little better or not, but I can try. Number 4, maybe I could back it off a little bit and see how it feels. And if it feels like it's okay, maybe I can go ahead and, you know, pull it out and put it back in. I don't know. But anyhow, guys, that's my dilemma. But I wanted to show you this little trick you can do to find out if you've got Black Death starting before it gets like covering your whole top of your engine with carbon, and you got to try to get all that out of there. So if you keep it clean, that's a good reason to keep it clean, because if you take it to the car wash and wash it on a regular basis, or you wash it yourself on a regular basis, and obviously if it's got the carbon up there, you're going to have to spray it with a lot of oven cleaner. What I would do if you're going to do it yourself, the night before, spray it down with oven cleaner, let it sit all night long, and then spray it off the next day. If you're at the car wash, you can always spray it down with oven cleaner the night before and let it sit, and then take it to the car wash the next day and maybe spray it down a second time and let it sit for an hour or so, and then spray it off while you wash the outside of the van or whatever. Do that last. But once you get all that off there, you know, once you wash it every time, then with it, while the water's still on top of the engine and it's cold, you can start it up and look like I just did. If you see that bubbling, then you know you've got the beginning of Black Death starting on your engine. So that's one way you can help prevent that blowout, that major problem like this thing had when I first got it, of that stuff just spraying out past the injector. If you see these bubbles, then you know it's starting. So anyhow, I'll probably make a short about this too, but you know, give me your advice, guys. Give me your opinion. What do you think I should do? Should I take it apart and fix it now, or should I take a chance on driving 2,000 miles and fix it when I get back? You know, I don't know. I mean, it runs great. I don't really think it needs new injectors because it runs so well. So maybe I could just pull the injectors out, all the injectors out, and do all this work without pulling the valve cover off. The valve cover doesn't leak either, and that's another problem I have. After cleaning this engine off, the valve cover doesn't leak. I don't see any power steering leaks. So I'm not sure where all the oil was from, and that's just 300,000 miles driving it with, you know, leaks. Typical diesel engine leaks, you know. But the valve cover's not leaking at all. I really hate to pull it off if it ain't leaking. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Give me your opinion, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to look at this thing and kind of make a decision what I'm going to do. So I appreciate you guys watching. So take care, and let me know what you think. All right, talk to you later. Bye.